Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to explore fascinating material that you've shared with us.
That's right.
And today, we're doing something a bit special. We're diving deep into Session 89 of the Law of One, question by question. You provided this source, and, well, our goal here is to really unpack it.
Beautifully, insightfully.
Exactly. Engagingly, keep it positive, and just squeeze out every bit of understanding we can.
In session 89, it's packed. Really dense stuff. Communication checks, cosmic history, consciousness, archetypes.
All the big ones.
Pretty much. So we'll try to give a detailed look at each question they asked Ra.
Great. Let's jump right in. It starts pretty standardly. Question 89.1. Could you first please give me the condition of the instrument?
And Ra's reply. Super brief. It is as previously stated.
Short and sweet. What does that tell us, though?
Well, it suggests, ongoing checks, a known state. They have a baseline.
Right, like status quo, nothing new to report.
Exactly. Routine procedure.
Okay, then 89.2 gets into the instrument's personal experience. She felt some strong conditioning during meditation. What was that about?
Ross says it was an opportunity to become a channel for a previously known friend.
A friend. Okay.
But the interesting bit is why it stopped. This entity, it couldn't answer when challenged in the name of Christ.
Ah, so that was the filter.
Precisely. Ra calls it the instrument's distortion, but not in a bad way. It's her specific way, her tuning fork for figuring out positive versus negative energy.
Her unique lens for discernment. Makes sense.
Yeah, it's built into her process.
So 89.3 just confirms this was the same fifth density visitor they knew from before.
Yep, Ra confirms it. Quick yes.
And the follow-up, 89.4, is he back with us at this time?
The answer's no, and the why is quite interesting.
Oh.
The attempt happened because the entity's minions, as Ra puts it, noticed a spike in the instrument's natural telepathic ability.
A spike, so it's not constant.
Apparently not. Ra mentions it's cyclical, happens roughly every 18 days, like a biorhythm. So, seeing this peak, the entity saw an opening, but still operating within free will. They tried to connect when she was naturally more receptive.
Fascinating. They track these cycles, and even this negative entity respects free will in its own way.
Seems so. It's all part of the rules of the game, you could say.
So the questioner then asks, in 89.5, if this increased ability meant she could access, like, a wider range of frequencies.
Ra corrects that. It's not about accessing new frequencies. The analogy used is really helpful here.
What was it?
Think of it like the receiving antenna getting more power, not the carrier wave changing.
Okay, so the signal she could already receive just came in stronger, clearer.
Exactly. The cycle's peak just sharpens the reception, like turning up the volume or sensitivity, not tuning to a new station.
That clears it up. Okay. 89.6 asks if positive and negative fifth density entities transmit on the same frequency.
And Ra says yes. This is super important for discernment.
Right, because the frequency itself doesn't tell you if they're good or bad.
Precisely. It's the content, the intention, the energy signature, the feel of it. That's why the Confederation always says, question all contacts.
You have to actively engage and test the connection. Okay. Then the focus shifts to Jim, 89.7. He was also experiencing some strong, unbidden conditioning.
Yeah, during Latwe channeling in his own meditations, Ra identifies the entity as the same companion again.
The fifth density one.
Seems so. But Ra notes its vibration is a bit lower than Latwe's. And interestingly, Ra says Latwe is the Confederation's main comforter for Jim, specifically tuned to his vibration.
A tailored connection. So this other entity tried to reach Jim too, maybe sensing the activity.
That's the idea. But Ra mentions this companion is less experienced in this kind of contact, so Jim might find it harder to distinguish.
Makes sense.
Which is why Ra says it's wise for Jim to challenge contacts too. Discernment for everyone.
Good advice. Okay, big shift now. 89.8 asks about Ra's third density experience on Venus. How long ago did it end?
This is where the time scale just explodes, doesn't it? Ra initially says 2.6 million years, but then immediately corrects it. Yeah. 2.6 billion years, with a B.
Wow, that's a huge difference.
Massive. And Ra adds a crucial point. Our concept of linear time just doesn't really apply the same way outside of third density. Their experience of space-time is fundamentally different.
Like trying to measure the ocean with a teaspoon. Got it.
Pretty much.
So 89.9 asks if Ra's third density ending coincided, roughly, with Earth's second density beginning.
Ra says, roughly correct. Hints at some kind of cosmic synchronicity, maybe planetary cycles aligning.
Interesting. And 89.1 confirms Venus became fourth density around that.
Affirmative. Yes.
Then 89.11 asks about Venus later becoming fifth density.
Ra clarifies this. It was first a kind of fourth, fifth density blend for a while. Both were possible.
Ah, transitional phase.
Seems like it. Then it became primarily fifth density for a good stretch. Shows planets evolve dynamically, shifting through these energy states.
Very fluid. So 89.1, what's Venus's density now?
Okay, Ra says its core vibration is sixth density now.
Sixth. But Ra left.
Yes, Ra, as the social memory complex, chose to move on. The main folks there now are fifth density entities. So Ra says you could consider it fifth, sixth density, reflects both the planet's core frequency and its current inhabitants.
A complex picture. And 89.13, the big question, why did Ra leave such an advanced place?
The answer is simple but profound. We wish to be of service.
Wow.
Ra
That's their whole motivation, service.
embodies the law of one, really, choosing service over staying in a comfortable, high-density state.
Okay, now a complete change of pace. 89.14 brings up a tarot deck.
Yeah, it kind of comes out of left field, doesn't it? The questioner has a deck supposedly copied from the Great Pyramid walls, asks how accurate it is.
Then Ra's deck.
Substantial resemblance. And in 89.15 agrees it's over 95% correct.
So there is a real connection between the tarot archetypes and whatever wisdom was in the
A
pyramid.
strong one, yeah. Suggests a deliberate transmission.
So 89.16 asks how these concepts got to the Egyptian priests. Did Ra teach them in person?
No, Ra clarifies they were long gone physically by then. The transmission was partly through existing old teachings and partly through visions.
More subtle means. Telepathy, inspiration.
Something like that. Which leads to 89.18, where the questioner wants to go through each card with Ra.
But Ra pushes back on that, right?
Right. Because the tarot is a tool for learn teaching. If Ra just gave all the answers without the student observing and figuring things out.
It messes with free will, makes Ra both teacher and learner simultaneously.
Exactly. The value is in the seeker's own discovery process. Ra guides, but doesn't just hand over the knowledge.
The journey is the point.
Okay.
89.1 line asks about using the tarot to develop the magical personality by, becoming the essence of each archetype in your mind.
Ra says, hold on, that's advanced stuff. For adepts after long study.
Not step one.
Definitely not. The starting point is studying the individual concept complexes, matrix, potentiator, etc. Look at mind-body-spirit connections, male-female polarities within them.
Build the foundation first.
Right. That deep study is what eventually brings forth insights, the deep threnodies and joyful ditties, as Ray puts it, which then enhance the magical personality naturally.
Makes sense. Start with the parts before trying to embody the whole. So 89.20 asks for a definition of concept complex.
Ray admits it's a bit circular to define directly. Uses an analogy.
Right.
Like a molecule made of atoms. Water needs hydrogen and oxygen. You can't separate them and still have water. Each archetype has these root atoms of being.
So understanding the core concepts, the atoms, helps you grasp the whole archetype, the molecule.
Exactly. Like knowing H&O helps you understand H2O.
Got it. Then 89.21 dives into archetype 1, the matrix of the mind. The questioner talks about the pictures on the card.
Ray acknowledges the observation of the pictures, but says the grasp of the matrix itself is incomplete, and adds that the priestly images got a bit distorted by Chaldean astrology.
So human interpretation layered onto the original concept again.
Seems to be a recurring theme. Even visual aids aren't pure.
So 89.22 asks if Ra themselves fell into that teach-learn-teacher trap when they first taught the tarot in Egypt.
Ra says, nope, that distortion was avoided. They stuck to their principles.
Consistent. Okay, 89.23 wants specifics. What did Ra actually tell the first Egyptian student about the first archetype?
Ra explains the initial method. They presented verbal descriptions of images for cards 1, 8, and 15.
Just descriptions.
Yeah, then asked questions about the symbolism. What does the bird mean? The wand? The man? The goal was to get the students to build the system, connect images to concepts, a slow process.
Facilitating discovery, not dictating meaning. Very different from just reading a book about it.
Right. And Ra actually sympathizes with the questioner's opposite problem, having too much existing information and interpretation to wade through.
Information overload.
Yeah. Ra suggests maybe someone in the group should try following that original study plan, make fresh observations. Then Ra also mentions the instrument is in pain and to watch for errors.
Right, the practicalities of channeling. So 89.24, the questioner asks if studying existing writings is the way to go.
And Ra gives a flat no.
Direct. So not about book learning first.
Seems the emphasis is on direct engagement with the archetypes, perhaps using Ra's framework before diving into others' interpretations.
So 89.25, the questioner refines the idea. What if they offer their own interpretations of the items on the cards?
Ra says that's very close, but still gently pushes back towards the initial study plan first.
Okay, what is the suggested plan then?
Observe characteristics. Look at relationships between the mind, body, spirit archetypes of the same rank, like matrix of mind, matrix of body, etc., and explore polar relationships, especially the pairings.
Ah, specific analytical frameworks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do that work first, Ra says, then they can comment on the observations. Avoid just interpreting the pictures initially because of distortions and the law of confusion. Review what Ra already gave on the topic.
Focus on the core structure and relationships Raw outlined, not just the potentially flawed pictures or existing systems. Got it.
Exactly. Build from the foundation Ra provided.
Okay, 89.26 talks about understanding Arcanum 22, the choice or the fool, and how that understanding seemed to click after Ra's third density. The question implies maybe Ra, being so positive, struggled with appreciating negativity before the veil.
And Ra says that's precisely correct in one way. Their harvest was overwhelmingly positive, so yeah, their grasp of negativity was less informed back then.
Makes sense.
But Ra clarifies the main point. Understanding Archetype 22 is crucial because it sharpens the view of the significator, the core self, and really highlights the transformation in great way archetypes too.
So it's not just about understanding negativity itself, but how that concept illuminates the whole path of evolution within the archetypal system.
You got it. It provides context for the whole journey.
Okay, shifting back to Ra's history. 89.27 asks if any Ra's population on Venus had a negative harvest.
Ra says no negative harvest from the population overall, but two specific individuals did negatively harvest themselves during Ra's third density there. Others had negative leanings, but didn't quite make the 51% threshold for negative harvest.
A crucial distinction. Self-harvest implies active choice. Okay, 89.28 asks about population numbers on Venus back then.
Ra says it was a small population, difficult conditions. About 6.5 million were harvested positively.
And the rest?
Around 32 million had to repeat third density somewhere else.
Gives you a sense of the scale. So 89.29,
Yeah.
How did the harvestable positive folks view the ones who weren't making it right before harvest?
Ra describes deep compassion, especially for those seemingly in darkness, which Rin notes is ironic given how bright Venus was physically.
Yeah, interesting contrast.
They tried to help, offered what was needed, but the focus for the positives was really on their own path, adeptship, indigo ray work in relationships, compassion balanced with, well, focusing on the light.
Mature compassion. Help being more possible, but not getting totally dragged down. So 89.30 where asks if Ra would feel differently about those same unharvestable entities now.
Ra says, not really. Still compassion, still offering comfort to those who wish to sleep, spiritually speaking. Service only works if it's requested.
Honoring free will again.
Always. And Ra adds that feeling connected to everyone, being them in consciousness, simplifies knowing how to serve.
Deep. Okay, back to those two who did negatively harvest. 89.31 asks how they managed it on such a positive planet.
Through control and domination, even leading to physical death. Ra says it worked because the planet wasn't used to that kind of violence, that level of, well, slaughter.
Shock value, almost.
Yeah. Ra compares them to what we might call ruthless despots waging holy war on Earth at the time. Shows how context shapes perception.
Definitely. So 89.32, did these two evolve up from Venus's second density with everyone else?
Ra says no, straight up.
Okay, so where did they come from? 89.33.
They were wanderers.
Wanderers. From where?
From early positive fifth density.
Wait, positive fifth. And they flipped negative in third density.
Yeah.
89.34 asked about that.
Ra confirms it. They came from positive fifth, evolved through positive fourth, then incarnated on third density Venus, and ended up choosing the negative path.
Whoa. Okay, 89.35. What caused such a drastic switch?
This is wild. Ra says it was Venus's overabundance of love, seen from a wisdom perspective.
Too much love. How does that work?
For some neutral or slightly negative folks already there, all that harmony felt sickening, Ra says. These wanderers felt maybe a more wisdom-focused approach would appeal more to those in darkness.
So the intense positivity inadvertently repelled some and gave these wanderers an idea for a different approach.
Kind of. One started, the other joined. They intended to serve, but not like this. They gathered followers by promising specific knowledge, and wisdom would advance them.
Ah, the lure of shortcuts or elite knowledge.
Exactly, the end result. The two wanderers graduated negative fourth density, and some followers deepened their negativity slightly, but no general negative harvest.
A complex outcome. 89.36 asks why they were wandering in the first place and if they're male-female.
All wanderers come to serve the Creator. That's the core reason. And yes, Ra confirms these two incarnated as male and female, seeing it as the most efficient partnership for service.
Okay. 89.37 is a quick check.
Mm.
Is one of these wanderers the companion entity contacting the group now?
Ra says no. Different entities.
Right. Then 89.38, the questioner guesses maybe the wanderers came back to Venus specifically to inject more wisdom into Ra's perceived overcompassion.
Ra says that's incorrect in terms of their pre-incarnation intent, which is just service, but
What?
it is sort of correct from their perspective within that Venusian life. Their viewpoint shifted once they were there.
The experience changed their understanding and goals.
Yeah.
Happens. 89.39 expresses confusion. Why would wanderers be needed if Venus seemed successful? Was as early on.
Ra confirms it was the second 25,000-year cycle, and the harvest rate was under 20%. 6.5 meters out of 38 meters total. Not overwhelmingly successful yet.
Ah, okay. Lower than I thought.
And wanderers go where there's a call, especially from the unpolarized. The call came from those seeking wisdom who found Ra's compassion maybe a bit passive or paean for their taste.
So there was a need, just maybe not the one Ra's majority recognized. Okay, 89.40. How did these two feel after graduating negative fourth density and realizing they'd flipped?
Ra's word? Disconcerted.
Understatement of the eon, maybe?
You'd think. Just disconcerted.
So 89.41, did they stick with the negative path, aim for negative fifth?
They worked with negative fourth for a while, but then with great effort, they managed to recapture their old positive patterns.
They flipped back.
Yes, reverse polarity again. Then did a lot of fourth density positive work to retrace their steps and get back on track.
Incredible story of redemption, almost. So 89.42 asks how Ra knows all this detail about their negative path.
Because they eventually rejoined Ra.
In fourth density.
Yeah, in fourth density positive for part of the cycle. They shared their experiences then.
Ah, direct knowledge. 89.43 assumes they joined late in the cycle.
Then Ra confirms yes.
Okay, almost done. We circle back to archetypes. 89.44 asks for an example of using archetypes in that controlled way Ra mentioned earlier.
Ra says this is the last long answer. Instruments getting weak. Controlled use means using them within yourself for self-polarization.
Internal work.
Right. Subtle levels. Benefit self if negative, benefit others if positive. Ra reminds them the archetypal mind is part of the deep mind. It informs thought anyway.
So don't try to, wield them externally without proper understanding.
Exactly. Translating them directly into daily actions without magical propriety risks infringing free will. Even tuned negative entities prefer control, Ra notes, then asks for brief queries.
Right. Last one, 89.45. The questioner thinks maybe negative harvest is easier in a less negative place like Venus was compared to Earth now, and asks about improving contact or comfort.
Ra says harvest requirements are set. Doesn't change. But yeah, it's easier to serve the self fully when there's less resistance, less overt negativity fighting back.
Makes intuitive sense. And for the instrument.
More physical manipulation, dorsal side, limbs, whirling waters if possible, standard care suggestions, alignments are good, keep being vigilant, and ends with, all is well, my friends.
Wow, what a session. We went from channeling checks to billion-year histories, planetary evolution, deep archetype mechanics, and that incredible wanderer story.
It really covers so much ground, doesn't it? So many layers. The detail Ra provides on their own history, the reasons behind things. It's pretty stunning.
Absolutely. And hopefully you found this deep dive insightful, engaging, and positive, just like we aimed for. Lots to chew on there.
Definitely. The connection between compassion and wisdom, how polarity plays out, the nature of service, it all weaves together.
It really does.
Yeah.
As you mull this over, maybe think about that balance, compassion and wisdom in your own life, or those subtle ways polarity shows up.
Good food for thought.
Indeed. Thank you so much for bringing this session to us to explore, and thank you, as always, for breaking it down with such clarity.
Always a pleasure.
Until next time, go forth, then rejoicing in the power and in the peace of the one infinite Creator. Namaste. I am you and you are me.